The pastor turned to Amoka, his voice low. "This is deeper than I thought," he said. "You need to find a woman who made it out alive. She's the only one who escaped." Amoka knew it must be Ozioma, whom she saw her comment on that post the other day. Her hands were still shaking as she watched her son sleep quietly on the church pew. The pastor handed her a bottle of anointing oil and whispered, "Cover him with this every night. And whatever you do, don't let him close his eyes in that school again." That was all she needed to hear. The next morning, she drafted a message to the school saying Kosiso would not be returning. The receptionist called her immediately, speaking in a voice that no longer sounded cheerful. It was calm, too calm. "We understand your decision, Madam Amoka," the woman said. "But do remember that once a name enters our book, it cannot be erased." Amoka hung up and blocked the number immediately. That day, she told her husband everything again, this time with no filters. But Nduka still refused to believe her. He said she was going too far, dragging their child through church drama and fear. He even threatened to take Kosiso back to the school himself. That was when Amoka knew she had to act alone. She turned back to her phone and searched for Ozioma again. The profile was still locked, but she noticed something new, a tagged photo from a page called Ebony Women's Cooperative. The page showed a woman holding two young boys, smiling in front of a cornfield. Her face was older now, but the name under the caption read, "Ozoma Uwokwe, our beloved sister." Amoka didn't waste time. She reached out to the page, pretending to be a journalist working on a story about exceptional mothers. It was a risky move, but it worked. Someone replied, giving her a contact number for Mama Ozioma. And just like that, the doors to the truth began to creak open. Ozioma's voice was heavy with age and caution when she finally picked the call. At first, she didn't want to talk, but the moment Amoka mentioned Nidi's Heaven and the true names, the line went silent for a long time. Then she whispered, "You have a smart child. You need to act now before it's too late." Amoka begged her to explain. And slowly, Ozioma began to talk. She said that 14 years ago, her twins, Chimdi and Chizim, were enrolled in Nidi's Heaven. Everything seemed perfect at first, just like Amoka had experienced. But the twins started changing. They began drawing strange symbols, speaking in unknown languages, and talking about people who were not real. One day, Chizam told her, "Mommy, my name is not mine anymore." Ozioma didn't understand what it meant, but she felt it in her bones that something had been taken. She tried to pull them out of the school, but strange things began to happen. Her husband had a terrible accident that left him paralyzed. Their business collapsed overnight and her house got burned down by an unexplained fire. It was as if the moment she resisted, the world around her started to fall apart. But she didn't stop, instead she ran. She packed her children and moved to a quiet village where no one knew her name. It was there that she met a spiritual elder who told her the truth, that certain institutions were more than what they seemed. That some names carried power, and that in some places, names were used as currency. Nidi's Heaven is not a school, Ozioma said over the phone. It is a farm. Amoka's throat dried instantly. "A farm," she repeated. "Yes," Ozioma answered. "They don't harvest your children's lives now. They plant seeds. And when the child turns 25, the harvest comes. That is the contract." Amoka pressed her hand against her chest, trying to slow her heartbeat. She asked how she could break the link, how she could save Kosiso. "You can't do it alone," Ozioma said. "You need to find the namekeeper." That was the first time Amoka had ever heard that name. The namekeeper, Ozioma explained, was a man who lived deep inside Obigu Forest, a sacred place few dared to enter. He was old, nearly forgotten, but he was the only one who could retrieve a stolen name and restore it to the rightful owner. He was said to have once been a powerful scribe who wrote names in the ancient books of destiny, before he disappeared from the world. Some say he was cursed. Others say he walked away from the world because of its greed. All that mattered to Amoka now was that this man might save her son.